It's finally happening. After years of chaos, cover-ups, and political excuses, the feds are striking back, and this time, it's not just talk. Federal investigators under President Donald J. Trump's Department of Justice have officially opened a full-scale probe into the Portland Police Department, accused of shielding Antifa and sabotaging ICE operations that were meant to keep America safe. Now, for months, we've watched videos going viral of federal officers under siege, Antifa militants shining lasers, throwing firebombs, and hiding behind local police lines while ICE agents took the hits. But tonight, the shield of protection is cracking because under President Trump's DOJ, the hammer has finally dropped, ordering subpoenas, collecting body cam footage, and demanding answers from every corrupt official who let this happen. And as the walls close in, Pam Bondi is blasting Democrats over their insane ICE tracker plan, calling it what it is, an open invitation to target federal officers. Now, buckle up, Patriots. It is payback time. Hit the like button and subscribe, folks. This is not a drill. Federal investigators under President Donald J. Trump's Department of Justice have officially opened a full-scale probe into the Portland Police Department. Now, this is the same department that's accused for years of shielding Antifa while federal officers fought to defend ICE facilities that were under siege. Now, this investigation isn't symbolic. This is a direct response to mounting evidence that local authorities weren't just standing down. They were actively obstructing federal operations. Now, Trump's DOJ is drawing the line, a red line here. Any department found colluding with domestic extremists will face the full weight of federal law. Now, for years, DHS and ICE agents in Portland have operated in some very hostile territory, surrounded not just by mobs of black-clad agitators, but by city officials who refuse to enforce the law. The constant riots, assaults, and property damage, it became a test of endurance for every officer in uniform. Trump's team says, look, enough is enough, guys. After nearly a decade of chaos under progressive leadership, the message from Washington is clear. You either stand with the law or you stand with lawlessness. Now, it's a lot like Medicare. It's supposed to be your safety net. But for way too many Americans, it's turned into a trap. This is exactly why I partner with Chapter. They make sure that your Medicare is a net you can trust, not a hole that you can fall through. Now, one of our viewers, she told me, Chapter gave me confidence that my Medicare plan actually works for me. So let me ask, do you want uncertainty or the confidence that most people already have? Now, most people are calling that phone number on the bottom of your screen right there, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron, and just listen to what some of our own subscribers of the Ron Yates channel are saying. We got one from Terrence D. Scott 990. He said, just wanted to say thank you for Chapter. They're saving me money, $60 a month. Hey, I'm happy to hear it for you, man. Then we got another comment from Kristen Massa 8728 saying, Chapter takes very little time and effort. My mother is saving money. I love it. I absolutely love that, guys. And so that is the kind of relief that everyone deserves. Clarity, confidence, and some real savings, especially during these times. Now, it all came to a head outside the Portland ICE facility. It was a moment that was so blatant, so caught on camera. It shocked even seasoned agents. Guys, I'm talking about video footage showing Antifa militants hiding behind Portland police officers, using them as shields to escape arrest after attacking federal agents. You can literally see one suspect running, ducking behind a police line, and then slipping away untouched. Federal officers left exposed, watching in disbelief, like, what just happened? To the men and women that were on the ground, it wasn't confusion, it was complicity. The message was unmistakable. Local police were protecting Antifa, not enforcing the law. And then came the moment every American had now seen. The DHS officer's furious outburst. His voice, cracking with rage, shouted, "She's literally running behind you guys." That line has gone viral, okay? It summed up everything that federal agents have endured. Betrayal by the very institutions sworn to uphold the law and order. I mean, you could hear the frustration, the exhaustion, the disbelief, like, I don't believe what you're doing. Like, it wasn't just one agent venting. It was the sound of Washington waking up to years of quiet sabotage from the ground up. So now sources inside the Department of Justice are confirming what many have suspected. This probe isn't limited to one incident. In fact, Trump's DOJ has ordered a sweeping expansion of the investigation into Portland's leadership. Federal investigators are pulling body cam footage, police communications, and internal memos from the Portland Police Bureau. They're tracing every directive, every order to stand down, every instance where federal agents were left to fend for themselves. The scope is enormous, guys. In fact, officials are saying it's not just about discipline. It is about exposing a network of decisions that may prove Portland's leaders knowingly aided extremists. And this is exactly what federal intelligence has been warning about. In fact, Antifa's tactics have evolved. They've gotten a lot more brazen, no longer just street chaos, but calculated assault operations. Agents report militants using high-powered flashlights and military-grade lasers to blind ICE officers, even targeting helicopter pilots to disrupt surveillance flights. Do we really need another helicopter falling out of the sky? Drop a no in the comments. Drop a yes. Let me know where you guys stand on that, okay? I mean, these aren't just protests. These are clearly coordinated attacks that are designed to injure and disorient law enforcement. The disturbing part here, Portland police didn't intervene. They just stood back while federal officers were literally under laser fire. Trump's team says that this negligence now crosses the line into criminal endangerment. Now, the ICE director himself finally broke his silence this week, confirming what many Americans feared, that the Portland ICE facility endured over 100 consecutive nights of violence with little to no help from local police. Now, that's not hyperbole. Federal officers were firebombed, doxxed, blinded, and attacked while Portland leadership told their police to de-escalate. The director called it a dereliction of duty, plain and simple. And under President Donald J. Trump's DOJ, that phrase carries weight. The investigation will determine whether local officials violated their oaths and intentionally obstructed federal law enforcement. And so now, Pam Bondi has stepped in like a political sledgehammer. The former Florida Attorney General and one of Trump's most trusted legal voices is tearing into the Democrats over their reckless ICE tracker plan. She says it's not oversight, it is a hit list. Bondi argues that these so-called transparency tools, they do one thing: endanger federal officers. Her words are cutting through Washington like a thunderclap, folks. She is warning that this obsession with tracking ICE doesn't protect the public. It arms the radicals who already treat ICE agents as targets. So let's talk about this ICE tracker scandal, because it's even darker than most people realize. Democrat lawmakers in multiple cities are pushing to build these public databases that track, film, and catalog ICE agents under the guise of accountability. But we've already seen this movie before, guys. The last activist-built ICE tracker app led to a violent shooting at an ICE facility, leaving agents and migrants injured. Now, Trump's DOJ is calling it what this really is. It is a digital doxing campaign that is designed to expose and intimidate the very officers that are protecting our borders. Now, Pam Bondi's right. This isn't reform. This is revenge politics, weaponized. Now, here's where the threat becomes national security level seriousness, okay? If ICE agents' names, addresses, or patrol routes are leaked, it opens the door to ambushes, sabotage, and foreign exploitation. DHS has already warned that cartel-linked operatives monitor social media for intel drops. Every agent compromised means another border mission endangered, another investigation burned. Trump's DOJ says that this fight isn't just about Portland anymore. It is about restoring the safety of federal officers who have become political targets in their own country. This is no longer just corruption. This is systemic rot. And so now, here's where things really start heating up in Washington. Trump's Department of Justice is officially striking back, not with press releases, but with power. Subpoenas have already gone out to senior Portland officials demanding records, text messages, and communications that are tied to protest response coordination. Federal task forces are being formed to investigate whether local police obstructed ICE operations or interfered with federal arrests. Now, insiders are saying that this could escalate to civil rights violations if it's proven that Portland's political leadership deliberately shielded Antifa while targeting federal agents. Now, the message from Trump's DOJ is crystal clear. We will not tolerate insubordination from within. Now, of course, the political divide over this is reaching a boiling point. Democrats are calling it political theater, accusing Trump of weaponizing the DOJ against liberal cities. I mean, come on, guys. But conservatives, they're smart enough. They're smart. They see it as long overdue accountability, a correction to years of chaos where radicals rioted with impunity. Congressional Republicans are cheering it on, saying Portland has become a symbol of leftist lawlessness. Meanwhile, the American people are watching all of this unfold and asking a very simple question. Why did it take this long for the feds to finally step in? I mean, the mood is shifting and Trump's timing is no accident. Drop a finally down below if you're like, okay, finally the feds have jumped in, because it's long overdue. Now, this entire showdown has reignited one of America's oldest debates, the federal-local power struggle. Who's really in charge when a city defies the rule of law? Now, under President Trump, the answer is becoming clear. Federal supremacy will not be mocked. Portland's leadership gambled that they could ignore federal authority. Now, that home rule meant immunity. But Trump's DOJ isn't playing these stupid games. If Portland continues resisting federal subpoenas, they risk losing millions in federal funding and potentially facing criminal obstruction charges. Now, this isn't just Portland's problem. No, every sanctuary city in America is now paying very close attention. Look at New York City, look at Los Angeles, look at all of the different sanctuary cities out there. And of course, the media spin machine, it has gone into overdrive. Legacy outlets like CNN and MSNBC, they're framing this crackdown as authoritarian overreach, conveniently ignoring the literal firebombs and laser attacks that federal agents endured for months. Now, the footage doesn't lie. It's chaos. It's not protest. Yet, mainstream media paints Antifa as activists and federal agents as instigators. Meanwhile, independent reporters and leaked DHS footage tells a completely different story. Portland wasn't under control. It was under siege, and the press was just way too afraid, too compromised to say it. So this investigation isn't happening in a vacuum. It is part of President Trump's broader law and order crusade. Since returning back to the White House, Trump has made it very clear. Rogue prosecutors, activist mayors, and sanctuary cities are they're done getting a free pass. Portland is the opening salvo in a nationwide campaign to restore respect for federal law enforcement. The administration is already reviewing federal pipelines tied to jurisdictions refusing cooperation with ICE, and senior officials are saying this Portland probe will serve as a blueprint for every other federal investigation and intervention. Now, this is President Trump's America First justice policy, accountability through exposure, no matter who's in the crosshairs. So meanwhile, Pam Bondi's media blitz is turning heads across the country. Pam Bondi's everywhere, from Fox to Newsmax, blasting Democrats for aiding doxing efforts against federal officers. Tracking ICE isn't oversight, she said. It is intimidation. Bondi's message is clear. No agent who wears that badge should have to look over their shoulder at night. She's calling on Congress to investigate state governments that cooperate with Antifa-aligned data networks. Her words have energized millions who have had enough of their double standard. One set of rules for radicals and another set of rules for law enforcement. Now, behind the scenes, the consequences for Portland officials could be devastating. In fact, DOJ insiders are saying that this investigation could expose years of internal corruption, from politically motivated policing to possible federal obstruction charges. Subpoenas are already flying. And if investigators uncover direct coordination between City Hall and radical protest groups, expect resignations, funding freezes, and maybe even indictments. Trump's Justice Department is treating this as more than just a disciplinary issue. This is a test case for federal authority. The question now isn't if heads will roll, it's whose head will roll. Now, the reckoning Portland's leadership thought would never come is finally here. In fact, across the country, Americans are fired up. I mean, you could feel the public outrage building. Taxpayers are asking, why are we funding cities that protect criminals over citizens? People are done watching law-abiding officers get ambushed while politicians are shrugging their shoulders. The footage, the firebombs, the chaos, it's burning into the nation's memory. From Oregon to Florida, Americans are demanding justice, order, and accountability. And for many, this investigation feels like vindication, proof that Trump is finally restoring the balance of power between law enforcement and lawlessness. Now, at the heart of this entire story lies what I call the moral inversion, the complete reversal of right and wrong that's infected modern politics. Think about it, right? The same politicians who call federal law enforcement fascists, They're the same ones that are defending masked radicals that are hurling Molotov cocktails at ICE agents. The same networks that are crying defund the police are silent when local cops shield Antifa from arrest. So this isn't compassion. This is corruption of conscience. The left has twisted justice into activism and activism into an excuse for lawless anarchy. Trump's DOJ isn't just investigating a city. It's confronting an ideology that despises accountability itself. And that brings us right here. The closing moment of clarity. I mean, the feds are not backing down. President Trump's Department of Justice is setting a precedent that will echo for decades. Local law enforcement, local governments, they do not get to side with radicals over the Republic. The Portland probe is just the beginning of a national reckoning. This is one that could redefine federal state regulations and relations for generations. Americans are waking up, the fog is lifting, and as the truth comes out, every citizen will see exactly who stood with the law and who stood with the chaos. Like, subscribe, share this video because the fight for accountability has only just begun.